Peter, congratulations on the
you.
film.
Enough people stayed behind.
You mentioned earlier on in the introduction that this has been a long gestating project for you and for Zhang Ziyi. Can you tell us a little bit about what first drew you to it, and also just about the journey to get it to the screen?
It was a really long journey. It started in 2015. It doesn't mean it took us 10 years to make the movie, but it did take us 6 or 7 years to really decide what it is, or what it would be.
It's based on a true story.
It's based on a true story, which happened in 1945. And the story actually lasts longer than what you see right now. It spans 3 regimes and 3 different times. From when it happened, which was Japanese occupied Shanghai with the puppet government, and it was actually very apocalyptic at the end of the era of that regime, and everybody was scrambling for their life. As you see how people are reacting to this in a very, how should I put it, chaotic way. And thus the energy and thus the effect and everything that you see. And then it carries on into a time where she has a retrial. And then it was during the Republic era, after the Japanese lost the war. And then it carries on to the new People's Republic, where you see at the end, you see a little bit of a montage where you see her in an old age makeup. She actually lived till 2006.
2006?
Yes. She outlived every character in the movie. And it is not by retrial or whatever, and it's all because of, I think what really interested me is a lot of outcome in people's life are not because of what they did or didn't do. It's all because of the changing of time. That's why I think there's a shot that the editor who helped William, who helped us, and he specifically put a shot. I think a lot of stuff are like creative artists complement each other. We were shooting, and then we had that shot where we see the credits, where you see a lot of dust, and it's really like we are all just little particles, you know, in the bigger scope of things. And whether the motivation of each character were influenced, either they succeed or not succeed, it is because of the changing of government, the changing of time. So she actually lived to 2006, and it was a very, I wouldn't want to use the word ambitious, but it was a very greedy endeavor to try to put it to screen, because it is very long. The story is very long, and it's multiple characters, as opposed to the case is so intriguing, you know, because people Google up and find out the case and they think it's a whodunit, and it's not a whodunit movie. It's, you know, all along she was the one who done it, but why she did it, and so it's a very, 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 very long movie. So it took us 6-7 years to figure out whether we should make a series, or we should make a 2-part movie, or how should we do it? You know, we weren't quite sure. And after COVID, we finally got the green light from the investor, from the financing, and we just went ahead and make it. And what ended up on screen, I would say this is not half a movie, but this is a movie that we edited in a way where it is a complete story that would complement another movie.
So we can see the continuation.
I hope it'll
of
come
the
to
story.
TIFF next year.
All right.
I wouldn't call it continuation. I hope that it would be two movies that would complement each other in a way, because there's still a lot. There are new characters being introduced, people that will shape and change their lives, and you know, it's like life. It's like everything you do, you're so helpless because you're trying to do good and then it didn't work, and you're trying to not do anything and then it worked. You know, because that's how life turns out to be.
Can you talk about directing one of the most glamorous women in the world in this role? Because she's entirely transformed, the character is disfigured, and that's part of her story. And I wonder what it was like between you and Zhang Ziyi to create this character and to direct her through that.
I have to say, she really came on board with conviction, a lot of conviction. Somehow she found some sort of connection to this story from the get-go. And she was, other than me, she was the only other partner, creative partner that was committed in 2015. And through the years, when I called it off, you know, in pre-production, I called it off once in 2016, 2017, and then we decided to try to make it into a series during COVID. And then she said, "I'm here. You know, whatever you do with this story, I'm here. You know, even if you want to make it a series." And then we finally ended up embarking on this journey in 2023, and she said, "I'm here." And she would come in, and the first thing you would worry about glamorous actresses, they kept saying that it's fine, I won't put makeup, and yet they still do. You know, and she was very convicted. She, you know, we had that kind of like birthmark on her face, and which makes her less desirable. And that's also part of the reason why she was being considered like a jinx in a way. And other than that, she also put a little bit of we put a fake buck tooth, and she had to go through a lot of makeup every day and a lot of, you know, dried skin and everything. And she's completely into the character. And the fact that she was so into the character, I think, and then we started attracting other movie stars from China to come in for different roles in the film. And everyone walked on set and saw the way she was behaving on set. And it became one of the quietest set I've ever shot in. Other actors would come in and say, "Hey, this is not like a movie we used to make. It's so, everybody is so into it, and there's no shouting and screaming. Everyone seems to know what they're doing, and we're just doing our job every day." And it makes all the other actors want to be different too. Because as most Chinese audience here would know, that we had more stars than we need, probably. But they all come in even for smaller roles, like the blind fortune teller. He's one of the biggest stars in China. And he would come in and he would do his hair and everything, and he would do 6 hours of makeup every day before he could go to work. And our police commissioner, another 3.5, 4 hours of makeup every day, and 2 hours to take it off. You know, because his face is all, you know, you see his face is all like, how should we put it? Very rough face. It's like he had a lot of pimples when he was young. And so kind of like, you know, that we changed his nose and everything. So everybody tried to look kind of different in the movie. So it's a lot of work, and it's really a labor of love with a whole sort of group of actors. It's almost like an actor's workshop this time.
We want to offer you the chance to ask some questions also to Peter. If you've got a question. Oh, I see someone in the center in the back already. Please go ahead. Sorry, I don't think we can hear you. Can you speak up a little bit? Question is, how did you create the landscape for the film? Of did you say one of the wildest moments in Chinese history? Cultural Revolution came after, but yeah. Okay.
Way after. How do I create this world? I mean, if I don't, I hope I didn't misunderstand your question. Let me just go into the details of the aesthetics of the film, if that's what you meant. We were very, very fortunate, not just on the actor side, but the shooting of this movie was quite special. I mean, I was one of the luckiest directors to be able to work with all these actors, talents, and also be able to shoot in a real location where we didn't have to build sets. Everything you saw in those, the name of the movie in Chinese, which is Soy Sauce Alley, this is where the murder took place. The whole blocks were right in the middle of the city. It's kind of like north of the Bund. It's called the North Bund, where on one side of the road, it's all commercialized and built up to skyscrapers. And on the other side of the road, somehow, there were 2 or 3 blocks, big blocks of old housing that were untouched, that were built over 100 years ago. And a lot of film crew or projects wanted to shoot there, but it was never really vacated until COVID. And after COVID, I was the first filmmaker to walk into those places. And when I first walked into those places in 2023, early 2023, there were still 3 or 4 homes that hasn't been moved or vacated. And finally, we were able to shoot there with the help of the local district government, where they actually let us shoot. And not just outside, but also not just inside those big blocks, where we shoot all those labyrinth kind of, like a maze where you walk up and down into each, into each location, each rooms, each part. And we were also allowed to actually block out the streets outside. And we're shooting on one side, and you see the big signs where, 2 big Chinese letters. That wall was built on top of a building, it was a wooden wall that we built to look like cement. But on the other side, we were able to dress it like 1945. And it's right in the middle of, if you look to your right, like a block away on your right is 2025.
And I can verify that because I was fortunate enough to visit this location.
And you turn left is 1945.
It's remarkable.
It was surreal. And because usually most of those exterior sets we have to go to the backgrounds, the Shanghai Film Studio. And everybody showed I've shot at that backlot before, and everybody shoots. Every TV series you turn on TV every night is that same backlot. And I was determined not to go to the same backlot again. And I was just lucky that we were there at the right time. Everything just happened at the right time. I hope that's your question. I'm not sure if that's...
We're almost out of time, so I'll take one more question, and I'm going to see if there's anybody up in the mezzanine or balcony who would like to ask a question. You may need to call up. Yeah, go ahead, right there.
I noticed that you had a few themes that you explored through theater, public publication, women's selling, women's rights, and a lot of, I think, historical moments in Chinese history that were momentous throughout that time. Was there a core message that you wanted to deliver to the story?
Question.
I think I just did
I
say
can just
that.
repeat the question briefly.
Okay.
The question was, the questioner noticed a lot of themes working their way through the film, women's rights, publishing, theater, etc. And if you could boil it down, was there one message you wanted to communicate?
I think I just did. I tried to make it clearer. It's like, I think in life we're very helpless. Each individual, I mean, we're all leading actors in our own lives, but in the grand scheme of things, every one of us is just a little piece of dust in history. And, this is a unbelievable case that had a incredible outcome. But it was not because of justice. It was not because what is right and what is wrong. It was just because they were there at a certain moment in time. And things happened because of that. So it's echo themes of most of my movies probably since Warlords, where it is never about good and evil. It is never about right and wrong. There are no bad guys, and there are no really good people too, because the world is always gray, and everybody is selfish. You wanted one sentence. I always have long answers. And it's like everybody's trying to do things for their own selfish purposes. And if you see, you end up seeing the other movie next year, you will see that it's even more apparent that a lot of people do things for their own, things that are very benevolent, things that are very self-sacrificing, but for very selfish reasons.
Peter, thank you so much for bringing us to that. Thank you all for being here. Please join me in thanking Director Peter. Thanks for coming.